Okay, it's rap pack to my pulse flat. We keep it real, no false rap. I got 4 cars and they all black. Got 4 bras and they all that. We call that ballin'. Doing this is my calling. Flow is so appalling. My phone off and she calling. I'm like, yeah.
What's up, Internet, and welcome back to Nth-Level Entertainment, the most awesome series, comic book, and movies related YouTube channel in South Africa. So I've just gotten back from watching Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. And yeah, I've got mixed feelings about it. This is just going to be my initial non-spoiler reaction. I'm going to be doing a full spoiler panel discussion with some friends of mine, just to give people a little bit more of a chance to actually see the movie if you haven't done so yet. Excuse me. But however, yeah, like I said, look, I was blown away. It was great. It was very different from what we're used to as traditional Star Wars fans, especially if you consider things like the original trilogy. Um, but yeah, like there was a lot of things that didn't pan out the way that we would have expected. A lot of stuff that was that like a lot of fans had hoped for in a particular direction. A lot of characters who came back and we were hoping or assumed they would be used in a specific way, and ultimately they weren't. But it was a great movie. I'll say this much: the trailers were brilliant in the way that they were used, in the way that the scenes within the trailers were edited. There were certain things that were foreshadowed a certain way, and just because of a sleight of hand in terms of the way that they edited the shots, there was a complete misdirect in terms of what we were expecting to come out in the final product, compared to what we actually saw in the movie. So that was very well done. I did like that there was a little bit more explanation as to the development of character between Rey and Kylo since how they left off in the Phantom, in the Force Awakens, sorry. And we also see how things have affected Chewie going forward after having lost Han. Although they didn't delve into depth about that, but we do kind of see what role he has now assumed going forward without Han. And it was great. Like, a lot of new planets were visited and explored, which made for great new backdrops for certain action sequences and things like that. We get to see a lot more of Emperor Snoke, the supreme leader of the First Order. And we also get to see a lot of development from the character of Poe Dameron, the ace pilot that we were introduced to in the Phantom, the Force Awakens. I don't know why I keep doing that. And of course, we see a lot of development in Rey's character, like singularly, and her relationship with Luke Skywalker. And we also get to see where Luke stands as far as what has happened in the past, what's currently happened. We catch up with him a lot in terms of what he was involved in after the events of Return of the Jedi, which was the penultimate Star Wars movie chronologically in the original trilogy, before The Force Awakens. So it was great in that sense. We get a lot of awesome moments with Princess Leia. Her story went in a way, again, that I didn't think it would go, based on things that happened after The Force Awakens, in terms of, like Offset, the actual actor herself, Carrie Fisher. As many of you know, she actually passed away before the completion of Episode 8. I was expecting her death in real life to be handled a certain way as far as the story goes, in her character. But again, we were thrown a curveball with that. Things didn't happen the way we expected. So all in all, it was a great time at the movies. I did enjoy my time watching it. I was heavily disappointed by one specific plot point, but I'm not going to mention that now, as this is my non-spoiler review. That will be handled in our spoiler panel discussion. So all in all, as my initial reaction, I'm going to give this film a rating of 4 Millennium Falcons out of 5. It was a great time at the movies. It was great visually. There was a lot of great story points that were touched on, but ultimately not what I was expecting. And that's the only little bit of disappointment that I have that actually makes me give this movie the rating that I gave it. But all in all, please go out and see it. It moves the story along quite beautifully. It gives us a lot of touching story moments, a lot of big action sequences as well. And yeah, it's a great time at the movies. Go and see it as soon as you can whilst it's still out in cinemas. And that's going to be it from me for today. Once again, people, as usual, stay awesome. Please like and subscribe. Comment freely as to what you think of the channel, as what you thought of the movie. Please feel free to make any suggestions as to what type of content you would like to see in the channel going forward. And after subscribing, please click on the bell icon so that you are notified every time there's new content on the channel. And as usual, everybody, stay awesome, take care of each other, and to infinity and beyond.
Turn these zeros into tens and commas. Bitch, I'm ballin', closing $1 million deals. Catch me swerving, burning $100 bills. How I feel when you ballin', going places they never go. It ain't all about the money, but I stack it 'cause you never know. I'ma live life till I overdose. While they sleeping on me, that's comatose. I went mainstream with my main team.